Oh my goodness gracious, how are you doing? And welcome to another episode of From the Wheelhouse. My name is Captain Mark Stevenson. Man, I just got in off of the water. Don't you know that today is the 12th of May? And I'm telling you, it's so hot outside, boy. Oh boy, it's so hot outside. And the water is beautiful. I think the lake is flat. And it's our turn to have some fun. And it's your turn too. So let me get out of this life vest. Oh my God, I'm really exhausted because I've been going all day and every day, every night, and it's all because of you that I'm able to do so. You know, I couldn't tell you how grateful I am to do the work that I do. In fact, don't tell anybody, shh, but if they fired me, I would pay them in order to keep my job. Absolutely. I can't believe I get paid to do what I do because I give people all the fun in the world. I make sure that I give them a great time. And you can too. I'm going to talk today about how you can do the same thing that Captain Mark does. What did he say? Well, in many respects, I do the same thing that an Uber driver does. I move boats and I move people on boats. Same thing, it's just that I do it on water. And I know for a fact that you can do the same thing. There are some things that are required in order to become a captain, and we're going to talk about who can become a captain. Ask yourself this question. Am I too old? I don't think so. Am I the right color? I don't think that matters. Do I have enough education? I don't think that matters. I have a criminal background. Well, unless it's for some sex offender or maybe transporting narcotics and stuff like that, I don't think that you're going to have a problem because some of you have had mistakes that you've made in your life. Some of you have had the same type of problems that Captain Mark has had. And if Captain Mark can overcome them, you can overcome them too. I'm going to show you how. What if you're a woman? You don't see many women out there driving boats. Are the opportunities the same for women as they are for men? Yes, they are. You better know it. And I'm going to again show you how and why, because we have a very, very special guest today, a dear friend of mine, and I'm going to pull her in here in just a second. But first, I wanted to share something with you. And this is a letter from Congressman Danny Davis. He is the congressman of the 7th Legislative District, and I am just so proud to tell you that I have finished my term as the chairperson of the 7th Congressional District Advisory Committee for Maritime Matters. Now, we have to have somebody to replace Captain Mark. Someone has to do it to replace me on this committee, but also we have to have some young people, middle-aged people, and yes, some old people too, come in the business and learn to be a boat captain because I cannot drive but one boat at a time, and I don't have a whole lot left in me to be able to do it. So my mission in life is to bring you on the waterfront and to give you the opportunities of doing so. Now, this is a live call-in interactive show. I want you to take a look at the number at the bottom of the screen at 312-738-1060. That's 312-738-1060. I also want you to get an ink pen ready because Captain Mark is going to give you his personal, did I say that? Yes, I did. I'm going to give you my personal email address as well as my personal telephone number. And I want to let you know, I take pride in answering all of my calls. I will make sure, I promise you, I'll get back with you as soon as possible. And that's within 24 hours, okay? But back to Congressman Davis. He wrote me a letter that I'd like to share with you when I was appointed as the chairperson of the Maritime Committee for the 7th Congressional District. Dear Captain Stevenson, on behalf of the 7th Legislative District of Illinois, I want to thank you for agreeing to serve on my Maritime Advisory Committee as its chairperson. You will bring a much-needed perspective to the work we do in regards to the maritime industry. Your contributions will help to keep me up to date on the many issues affecting our waterways throughout the district. I thank you for having brought together some of the best maritime talent to this committee. My staff and I are grateful that you are willing to share your time and talents. Now, having known you for 10 years as president of the International Shipmasters Association, that's the Chicago Lodge, and a great community organizer, I know you're the right person for this position. Wow. Your organizing skills will prove. I have to laugh because my wife is the one that keeps me organized. Your organizing skills will prove to be most helpful in my quest to learn more about how I can improve employment and commerce while expanding the growing maritime commerce of the 7th District. And speaking on one of your boats as professional mariners, was quite informative, as well as having been one of the highlights of my career as congressman. In addition, I have shared CAN TV television studios with you and admired how you have methodically disseminated vital information, educating the public concerning the maritime industry while broadcasting your television show from the wheelhouse. It was great to also be one of your guests talking about the use of drone technology on the lake and our rivers. I now request that the committee under your leadership advise me on issues that may come to my desk concerning the waterways in our district. Safety on Lake Michigan and its tributaries, that's the rivers, and funding of the Coast Guard are two of the areas of immediate concern to me. I'm sure your help will prove to be invaluable and to look forward to our upcoming meetings with the committee. Well, it goes on to say some other things too, but I have finished my term, and I'm probably guilty of hiding from the congressman so he doesn't reappoint me. I'm so busy doing so many things this time of the year that it's very difficult for me to serve. But one of you who is a good organizer out there, you need to call me. Here's my telephone number, 312-437-2230. That's 312-437-2230. And my email address is boatmaster1653 at Gmail. That's boatmaster1653 at Gmail. I hope you got that. I'll try and give it to you again. But right now, I want to let you know that the maritime industry needs you. Plenty of jobs are available. Don't tell me that you have to have any special training. These folks that own these boats and these companies that own several boats are looking ahead by offering signing bonuses. Yes, not for people that have experience even. They are willing to give you signing bonuses and bonuses at the end of the season. That's along with your regular salary, which is good salaries in this industry. Man, I don't know how much easier they could make it for you. Now, back to our guest for today. I want to ask a good friend of mine to just slide in here. Usually I go off camera, but I want to pull her right on in here. How are you doing?
How are you doing, Captain Mark?
Very good, very good. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Viola Henry. and soon to be a captain. She's studying to be a captain. I'm so proud of her. Viola, welcome to the show today.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you, Captain Mark.
Oh my goodness, Viola, you got to tell the people some of the things that we've been doing during the past few days and how you got here.
Well, I got here. You said, you got to come on my show. I said, huh? But I know you were doing From the Wheelhouse, and I'm honored actually to be here. And it's been a pleasure to have been hanging out with you at the harbors and the piers and actually on yachts.
Oh, you haven't been just hanging out.
Not just hanging, but learning all the techniques, the safety procedures, and the practical applications that are needed to maneuver the waterways of Chicago and the rivers and the locks, all that is expected as far as navigation, knowing landmarks,
ladies and gentlemen,
instrumentation.
It's been
phenomenal.
I have not just had her hanging out. I've been putting this lady to work. She's learning everything from the knots to the weather, reading the weather, learning how to operate the radio, helping me drive a boat. In fact, you drove a boat all the way down the Calumet River, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Tell them about that. That's a place that people don't get a chance to see.
It's a phenomenal area to drive in. There's a lot of wildlife and nature, and it's so serene, even with the other boats and the tugboats and the other equipment that's out there for the industrial complexes. It's very interesting and exciting. Learning how to go through the locks, the procedures.
What's a lock?
Well, the lock is what do we call it? A waterway where we enter from the lake to the river, and in our instance, we were on the river and we had to enter and to go so the water would rise so we could float over to Lake Michigan and begin our trip to Chicago.
That means that the lake flows at a higher level than the river. So we got in a gigantic bathtub with the boat.
Yes.
And they lifted us up.
Yes, they did. So we could float into Lake Michigan without any sliding board effects.
Did you have any reason to be concerned with some of the moments that we had there that might have looked?
Yeah, there were concerns with other boats in the lock area. I should say there were professional boaters and then there were recreational boaters.
What's the difference? How do you know?
I could tell by their mannerisms and their techniques for staging and waiting in the locks. The things they did that I was told that you don't do, they were doing. And the way that sometimes they got too close, or they were too close to the wall, they were too close to different areas as we traveled through the lock to get to the lake from the river. Their positioning and maneuvers said that's a recreational boater. And then there were professional boaters and boats out there, and I could tell because they handled the boats in a more safe, secure mannerism.
Yeah, you had some folks out there that was driving erratic, zigzag.
Erratically, yes, and too fast.
But ladies and gentlemen, she handled it well. She handled the wheel very well. As a matter of fact, I didn't think I was going to get her on the boat because as we were getting ready to get on the boat, a friend just showed up out of nowhere and scooted across the sidewalk. What was that about?
On the sidewalk?
Yeah. Don't you remember this
log? The logs or the snakes?
The snakes.
The snake, yeah. The snake was on the boat. I'm like, really? He was on the sidewalk, and there was one on the boat.
That's right.
I'm like, he said, it's okay. He goes, they're scared of you. I'm like, but I'm scared of them.
What she didn't know was I was scared as hell. So what did I do as a captain with a straight face? I took a look at her. I said, look, they're more afraid of you than you are of them. Just grab the stick and shoo them away. Lord have mercy. I'm glad she didn't say no because I would have had to get somebody else to do it.
Well, as a student of a captain and knowing about seniority and following instructions, I grabbed the stick reluctantly and I pointed it at the snake and I said, I just moved close, and of course he did. He jumped
That
off
was
the
a
boat.
pretty big snake.
It
That
was a pretty big
It was
snake.
about 4-foot snake. And along the Calumet River, there are places where there are plenty of snakes that are in the water. They are not poisonous. They will bite you if you corner them. But yeah,
There were quite a few in our staging area for the boat. I was like,
That's
wow,
right.
y'all around the boat. I mean, are they still on the boat?
right. That was something else. For the first time, I know that other animals, because like you said, it's a lot of wildlife out
A lot
there.
of wildlife.
Other animals couldn't get on the boat. And this boat was stored during the winter.
Yes.
And you have to think to yourself, how can some animal get on this boat and leave us such a present?
Okay. There was a nice present left.
Somebody left some feces on the boat. It looked like a raccoon, but that would have been an awful big raccoon. And I don't see many dogs out there at all, but some large animal was on there and thought that he'd leave a present right there at the foot of the captain's helm, because that boat had been stored all winter long, and it was a great place to hide and stay warm from the elements for wild animals. So that boat became someone else's, some other animal's home. That's why you lock your boat up, folks.
Yes.
Lock your boat up really good at night, or you're going to find all types of friends. In Chicago, downtown just today, I saw muskrats downtown Chicago swimming across the river, and I saw a beaver.
Okay.
You know, this part of the country at one time, when John Baptiste DuSable had founded Chicago with the first trading post, that was the thing that he used to purchase and sell, are beaver skins, fox skins,
Yes.
all types of pelts. That was part of the economy. He dealt business.
As a fur trader, that was his,
There you go.
his claim to fame and prosperity.
They load up these boats and get these beavers to Europe and make beaver skin hats, and oh my goodness, it wiped out the population. Of course, it's Chicago. The word Chicago means stinky onion, because it was all types of water in the soil. It was very marshy-like, and you could smell Chicago for miles before you even get here because of the onion smell. Some people said it smelled like White Castle before White Castle became popular.
Okay. That's interesting.
Being a female, what were you thinking about coming into the business and making your place, finding a place to be able to work in the business? Did you feel like you would have some challenges there that wouldn't allow you to do anything, or?
Yeah, I felt that there would be some challenges because historically it's a man's world, and you don't really see a lot of women captains. But I was privileged to be in New York, Eddie Black Marina, and three of the women captains were three of the captains were female and black African American women.
Wow.
And one of them happened to be a friend of mine, and she had a really large yacht that she invited me to stay. I was going to go to New York. She says, I thought you said you like boating and you like the waterway. I said, I do. She said, well, I told you I bought a yacht last year. You can stay on my boat. You don't need to stay at the Sheraton Hotel. I said, is the boat big enough? She said, I went out to the harbor. I was just floored at how amazingly beautiful it was, luxurious, and the captains, she didn't even go to the harbor with me. She told them I was coming, and I would be lodging there for a few days.
So you weren't intimidated being a female at all. You just came and found your place.
Yeah, well, I did some boating in Chicago and had an opportunity for a few years to learn how to drive boats, small boats, not yachts. And I like fishing and nature, so I was a little intimidated, but not a lot.
Folks, if you're just joining us, my name is Captain Mark Stevenson. You're watching another episode of From the Wheelhouse. And seated next to me is our guest today, our co-host, Viola Henry. And she's a captain in training. She has to have 360 days under the direction of a captain or working for a boat owner in order to qualify to take the captain's exam. She also has taken my class for owners and operators as captains as well. And she is now taking the Illinois State safety course, safe boating course. Yeah. And it's going to be followed by a course for captains with the Chicago Maritime School. That Chicago Maritime School is waiting on you too, and they have scholarships. I got a feeling that you probably qualify for one of the scholarships, and you know how to fill out an application. Most of these scholarships with organizations that are maritime, they go unasked for. It's amazing to me that this money is there and people don't even ask for it. Are you going to have any problem with asking for this money?
No, I won't. I filled out my application online yesterday, and no, I won't have any problem asking for that.
Okay, well, you got to show that to me, and I will make sure that you also are made aware of the many other scholarship possibilities to get you in training and education in the maritime industry. So, what are you thinking about? How much money is involved in this?
Wow, that's very interesting that you said that. I've not thought about the capitalistic investment that could be poured into my pockets. I had been so enthused and excited about the opportunities, but after sharing and spending time with you and some of the other captains, I think there's a tremendous amount of money to be made in the maritime business. And I must reflect on Dr. Jackson that had the maritime.
Dr. Nancy
Jackson.
Yes. Historic person.
Historic person. When she had a school at one point that was trying to spread the good news about the maritime business.
That was the William Tillman Maritime Academy. It's closed now, but we trust that academy will open up one day. Somebody out there in television land right now is in position to help open the William Tillman Maritime Academy again to train youth. This is right behind Oakdale Gardens.
Yes, it is.
And they have like an 80% unemployment. That's what I said, 80% unemployment rate, and the other 20% are working for minimum wage jobs. So I can tell you that the opportunities are right at their back door. If one of you knows how to help us to get a hero or a shero to help us to open that academy back up, we're all ears, and we know what it takes to get it done and help the people to gain training in the maritime industry. Because, do you know, Viola, these jobs were always, for years, hundreds of years, passed down from one generation to the next, to their sons, daughters, and to nieces and nephews. And through nepotism, the doors have never been open for us until now, that the doors are open for every type of person, every race of person, and people even with some background, some criminal background in their history, are able to regroup their lives and come into the maritime industry. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, the maritime industry it seems to be an opportunity for us to make some new choices. Mm-hmm. As far as being professional standards, and I find it to be very exciting, very relaxing, and enjoyable. I'm a people person. You meet so many people that are out there having fun.
Having big fun,
and sharing their experiences and motivating and encouraging you to learn and to understand what it takes to be safe and have fun on the water.
And we were thinking about heroes and sheroes And I was honored to meet someone that you put into my life, Dr. Crothers. What's Dr. Crothers' first name? I'm scared to call him
Dr.
that first.
Reverend Dr. Iva Carruthers.
Reverend Dr. Ivor
Carruthers.
Crothers. Thank you for having breakfast with me and talking about something that I've been working on for some years. And we're talking about the manifestos. For 25 years. I have collected the manifestos and ship's logs, captain's logs from slave ships. And I wanted to find out what could they possibly be trading for human beings. And Dr. Crothers is interested in helping to get that story out. So I want to thank you, Viola Henry. I want to thank you, Viola, for helping me to meet Dr. Crothers, because I can tell that when I walked into the room and I met her, she was glowing. And she's here to help us. How do you know her?
Well, I know Dr. Ivor Carruthers via Northeastern Illinois University, which is now called the Carruthers Center on the South Campus of Northeastern. She was a dynamo. I mean, she was just all over the place.
She's a dynamo now.
I think she was in charge of the social work or social service department, and she was a professor. She's a historian. She was married to Dr. Jacob Carruthers, who the Carruthers Center is named after. She was very much into African history and philosophy. And she always shared those adventures and that education. And she's part of the Transatlantic Slave Trade Commission study.
Yes.
And I've been working with her and other professors at the school doing video work. I do videography and photography. And
wow,
she's invited me to participate on many different projects as part of her own personal individual projects dealing with reparations to transatlantic slave trade, and her organization that she's partnered with Dr. Jeremiah Wright and Dr. Freddie Haynes, which is called the Samuel D. Wood Proctor Conference, which is a social justice network.
Well, I can tell you, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for, well, first I want to thank Dr. Nancy Jackson for bringing you and I together.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for bringing Dr. Ivor Crothers and myself together.
Absolutely.
I can just tell you I'm just in awe about her, and I think that there's something there that we could help each other to get the message out that the maritime industry is alive. Now, with our closing minute, I want to ask you, what is the most important thing that I want you to look into the camera, and what is the most important thing that you can tell the ladies that are out there right now who are thinking about becoming a captain?
If you're thinking about becoming a captain, just like Nike said, just do it, because it's possible, and you got people like Captain Mark Stevens that will help you and inspire you, motivate you, and introduce you to the proper individuals, organizations on how to do it. Just do it.
So, black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. I want you to grab a pen right now and call me, whoever you are. Call me and make sure that you let me know that you have some interest. I promise I'll put you on a boat somewhere. I'll make sure that if this is what you really want to do, I'll do the same for you that I've done for Viola Henry here. And all I want you to do is reach back and help someone else. And my telephone number, if you want to reach Captain Mark, my telephone number is 312-437-2230. That's 312-437-2230. My email address is boatmaster1653@gmail. That's boatmaster1653@gmail. Wow, Viola, it's been this show just flies by so fast. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me and teaching me to be a captain. One day I'll have those bars on my shoulder.
And it won't be long from now. It won't be long. We're going to make it happen, I promise you.
Yes.
So until next week, folks, I want you to know that I'm going to be out there every day looking for you. Come on out to the lakefront. It's beautiful weather. The sun finally warmed everything up for us. We finally have a good time waiting on you. If you want to find out more about it, just get in touch with me, okay? Meanwhile, I have to get myself back out to the lakefront, and I mean like right now. So until next week, I'll see you then. So, Mama, you get the coffee ready. The kid, he's on his way.